Welcome to FDM and Federal Democratic Movement, 7 Stars, with Pastor Joshua Kony Matanga, who is the FDM party president and 2021 presidential aspiring candidate. We as FDM party leadership and of the president, we are saying Zambia needs leadership that have got potential to provide new economic measures that will bring economic transformation and change. And we have seen that there have been a number of issues that have been happening in our country. The COVID-19, despite of its global pandemic outbreak, but we still feel that we have a crisis in the management of systems, finances, and also the way how the country is managed. Zambia needs to bring in a shape of change of leadership this year. Should the Zambian people reason very positively? As we FDM feel that the Zambian people need to reason positively, because the only way these problems that we have can come to an end is to bring in a new leadership. Because if we continue hanging on to the same leadership that we have now, we are going to see the same results and the same problems around us. Because we as Federal Democratic Movement, we are saying, number one, we are going to provide the priorities adjustment to some of infrastructure development that we see that they've taken more money in the economy, from the economy. And in our national budget, that is when we form government after successful campaign of the 12th of August, with the general election, the presidential elections, we are going to ensure that in our national budget we prioritize agriculture as the main key factor that will help in to drive and transform our economy. So we'll forward 20% of our finances towards the agriculture scheme plan, because according to FDM Third Investment National Strategic Plan and Agricultural Evaluation Plan, where we have state funds for the country in all the 10 provinces, we aim to bring in economic recovery and development through agriculture, as we are going to have irrigation funds of growing wheat, soybeans, just to mention a few, maize for also for food security. Then we'll be exporting to Europe. Then we're going to have a quick financial earning for the state. I know there are people that have got companies, they have wheat, but they do it for their pocket. So we need to do what will bring in for the state. Like in the unity government, we had such systems. And when the MMD government came in, they removed such system. So there are issues that do not need to be removed, because they help in the strengthening of the country's economy. So having made such research and analysis, we've realized that some of the challenges and mistakes that have been made in the era, we are only going to be corrected when FDM forms government this year, which is federal government. We know that those that are in power have given fertilizer to the farmers. Just because this year is a year of elections, last year, they had to give fertilizer on time and seed on time. That's a mockery. It's a mockery. As we take it as a mockery. From 2017, 2018, 2019, there was poor distribution of farming input. But now it is 2020 to 2021. There is input recovery. It's a mockery. Because you don't grow an economy in a year. You grow an economy gradually in years. So we don't have to rely on a government that sleeps and wake up at the last hour, because it is that just to wake up at the last hour. And now you see there is also a lot of money funding and giving people distributing. They are not giving the direction on how the economy is going to be built up. They are just dishing out money. The same money that is supposed to be paid off for servicing the loan for the country, they are now being distributed because they need to buy votes by giving people. So you can see that the panicking by those that are governing us now has led them to such a level whereby Now, money is just being distributed when the country need to take economic shape and economic change. They are just dishing out money, dishing out money. The money that is supposed, even money that is funded, international fund, they are just dishing out, dishing out. When the country is supposed to have new opportunities for new job creation, we have a lot of gaps. So this careless handling of public funds is a threat to us as a nation. And we as FDM, we are saying, if we continue having such leadership and we allow them, I think they have done their homework, they have done their part, and we need to bring change. So this is what we are feeling, that as FDM, we need to give them resound victory in this coming general elections, and the Zambian people should gather their strength now to vote for a leader that will give them a more reasonable change. To bring in changes and shape into where the Zambian kwacha now has kept on fluctuating from where it was to 21, 22 against $1. As some of the following measures we as Federal Democratic Movement are going to put in place when the Zambian people vote for us and they feel that we can form government this year, are that we are going to make adjustment to some of the foreign trips and reduce the number that's around the president or the international trips, because the allowances that goes on individuals are supposed to be reserved for the financial reserves in the economy. And we are also going to reduce unnecessary financial dispersers. When we say financial dispersers, are those people who do financial authorization. In every ministry, we're only going to have one person to authorize the release of funds, so that we reduce careless disbursement of funds. And also, we are going to bring in changes like the ZRA that was made to be the headquarters at State House with President Sata. Will make changes because we know it's very difficult to audit the office of the president. How do you audit? You can't audit. Not until maybe the president is out of power, and that's when you can audit how money and revenues have been are used. So having noted all such errors done, we are going to return the headquarters to be just where it was at ZRI, and just reconcile money to be kept in the Bank of Zambia, and the control will be just done through the Minister of Finance, and of course with the reconciliation of the office of the president and the authority of the president, not where money should be controlled at State House. So we make those changes and adjustments to ensure transparency, because for 27 years that did not happen after even the change of government by the MMD. But when President Sata came in, of course, he brought in that system. So these are some of the changes we feel that we're going to bring in changes, because we are also going to introduce in a scheme that will allow that when money has been misappropriated and the citizens here that money has been misappropriated by the governing authority or by a leader in authority or by the president, in our time when we form government, we'll come up with a policy that will go, that we call as an investigatory and financial query scheme plan policy. Now, financial query scheme plan policy will aim that citizens can ask questions to the president to say, Mr. President, we heard this, heard about this. Then the president will be able to answer such questions. They should be free to ask questions, and that will also help to strengthen the confidence between the public, the general public, and the government of the day on the use of public funds to avoid unnecessary tension by the opposition, and that will help to strengthen also hope for the citizens. And this is how we feel that we come up with such policies when we form government, because Zambia does not belong to only those that are governing. Zambia belongs to all the citizens, and when the one has been chosen to become president, you are entrusted to take care of the affairs of the people, manage the resources on their behalf, protect their resources, develop their resources, and empower them and keep them well. So when such things are not happening, it's a threat, because the Zambian people will say, no, we entrusted you, and now this time we need to put our trust somewhere else. And this is the reason we are saying, as Federal Democratic Movement, the Zambian people now have got a right and a duty to put their trust and confidence in the Federal Democratic Movement and Pastor Joshua Konyu Matanga as their incoming president, probably likely to be the 7th Republican president by covenant, because Zambia is a Christian nation that needs a leadership that fears God, a leadership that is going to do what is right, a leadership that is not going to gather much resources and wealth to himself, but who is going to improve the affairs of the people, develop the economy, and bring in a balanced investment economy, and also ensure that the lives of the people are well protected, not where issues are very hard for the people. They have to fight for themselves. Foreigners are the ones that are celebrating, and those people that are coupled with capitalism are the ones that are enjoying money just being abused and misused. And yet we expect the country to develop, and this is what has resulted into high debt, financial debt, and borrowing. So we are going to correct these issues. We don't have any intention to arrest and put to prison those that have abused the public funds when we take and form government. Our view is that we only ask them to return half of what they have taken away from the state and back into the state, and leave them free, because we need to develop. In case we need to ask them part of their, so that we can also find out from where they have left and develop this country. And this is how we feel, we as Federal Democratic Movement, we need to run the country, because trying to be taking a leader to court, and this does not help, because it just makes the country to lose its identity. But we will have to put up measures that will help the country recover. We are not saying we support corruption. We are not saying, but we find a way to take back what they have taken, which belongs to the country and to the state and to the Zambian people. And this is how we as Federal Democratic Movement are going to bring in a financial recovery plan from what they have taken to their own pockets, even from outside country. If it is Switzerland, we will still have to seize their and frozen their foreign accounts. We will have to work and collaborate with foreign governments to ensure that the percentage of what belongs to the country is recovered. And this is how we have to do as a nation, because when you are entrusted to run the country, you have to be careful and you have to do what is right, and not unlike you only think about yourself. And when you see people rising, that's when you start now dishing out money to the people and saying you are now thinking you are helping them. You are not helping the people. You are killing and destroying the country, because you are careless in the management of funds. But anyway, as FDM, we are going to bring the digit from 21 kwacha, $1 against 121 kwacha Zambian kwacha to a single digit to 9 kwacha. How are we going to bring this digit to 9 kwacha? We as FDM have made a planning on how we will give a strategic plan for the International Monetary Fund. And in the planning that we are going to give, because the plan that we've done is for Federal Democratic Movement, we've not done it for any other party that is in government. We've done for us. So this strategic plan is going to give a roadmap to the international, to the IMF, how when they give us a package, the packages, one, the first package and financial loan they'll give us will run the economy, will run the agriculture, will run the industrialized manufacturing companies, so that we can export to other nations in our 40 new companies. Then within 2 years, we'll have been able to pay off the debt that the IMF and their interest, because we'll have run the economy. And this is how we are going to manage to bring the digit from 21 to 9 kwacha, because we have, it's a planning of having increased the foreign earning for the country, and this is how we're going to run. Unlike maybe others, they are looking for the money from the IMF packages to pay off debts and also maybe manage and run the country. But as we have a strategic plan that is put in place, and because we have among the best strategic plan in Southern Africa and across the globe, because we give advice to nations across the globe, so we'll be able to raise the nation of Zambia's economy and its recognition, make it the best economy in Southern Africa because of the new measures that we put in place, and also the strongest and powerful economy in Africa, and one of the fastest growing economy in the world. This is where we will take the economy of Zambia, meaning our citizens we're going to have a lot of new youth, new people that are going to be billionaires and millionaires because of the system that we use. Unlike the same system that I've been seeing, you just see the same millionaires, the billionaires that are very wealthy because the system just keep on saving and favoring the same people. Now, we are going to change systems. So once we change system, we'll give privilege to all the Zambian people. The same way these people you see today that they are more wealthy than a country became. That's the same way these people who are going to be part of the movement of the FDM under our federal government of 2021, they will also become wealthy. It's just the same system. We'll give them privileges that they can have companies in other countries who will back them up. Then within 2 years, they will be very powerful millionaires all over the world.